Welcome to Business Line's State of the Economy podcast, where you'll find insight, analysis, and the story behind the numbers.
The Indian festival season has begun with Raksha Bandhan getting over last week. Other festivals are set to follow over the next couple of months. Indian consumers consider the festival season as an auspicious period to buy gold. So there is a lot to look forward to in the precious metal sector this year. In addition to gold, silver is another precious metal in demand. Gold has been volatile this year with prices sashaying between $1,800 and $2,000 an ounce. In May, gold zoomed to a high of about $2,050 an ounce. Silver, on the other hand, has been considered as promising since last year, as its demand had exceeded supplies. Its prices too have been volatile, ruling between 23.50 and $26 an ounce. In India, consumers are looking for a gold price range of around 60,000 rupees per 10 gram to buy. To tell us more about how these precious metals will fare during the festival season, joining us is Mr. Colin Shah, the founder and managing director of Kama Jewellery. It is one of Asia's largest and modern jewellery manufacturers. Mr. Shah will also throw some light on the prospects of lab-grown diamond, which is being encouraged by the government in a big way. Welcome to Business Line's State of Economy podcast, sir. You are one of the key players in the precious metal sector. Gold has sashayed too much so far this year. How do you see the yellow metal behaving for the rest of the year? What are the factors that will determine its movement from here on?
Thanks, Subramani, for this podcast. And see, gold has been volatile. We came from, probably one of the largest bull runs that the gold metal has ever seen in the last maybe 15, 20 years, in the last 2 years. So after that, there was a little stabilizing and tapering off also for a variety of reasons. One is that US did not go into the recession everyone expected it to go into. But at the same time, interest rates continue to stay high. Inflation continues to stay high. China is still not out of the woods. They've had too many frequent lockdowns and their economy is not yet recovered from the pandemic. Europe, has been consistently, I would say, slow. And the only bright spot in the world seems to be in the large economy is India right now. So gold has had a variety of fluctuations due to all of the above reasons. But we do expect that if we see the kind of inflation, interest rate hardening, and volatility that we've seen in the last quarter, gold and silver prices should continue to go up in the next 2-3 quarters.
But what are the upside and the downside risks for gold?
See, gold upside could be between $2,000 and $2,100 a troy ounce. And downside, not much. I don't think it will correct much more than another $50 maybe.
But you said the gold it could climb going forward. But what are the risks there attached to those sort of foresights? Like if you're going to say gold is going to go up, what are the reasons that could further push gold to a new height, or what could really stop gold from pursuing?
The reasons, like I said, is the inflation data, the payroll employment data, and interest rates. And we don't see any of those coming down, actually. So that's why the probabilities of gold going up are high right now. And gold and silver rates generally go up and down in tandem, right? So even silver, I think we continue to see a little hardening.
And we are not seeing any end to the Ukraine war, if I'm right.
Yeah, we are not seeing any end to the Ukraine war.
So that is another factor. On the other hand, silver has been seen as a safe bet since last year when its demand in India increased sharply. However, its movement seems to be far more controlled. What is happening there?
Silver also has had its own volatility, I guess, in the last 12-month period. And now what we're seeing is, as a trend, that gold and silver more or less are following the same pattern. So again, even for silver movement, I guess the payroll data today is extremely important. And, anyways, we're entering Diwali, Christmas season globally. So demand will be high in the gift giving season for silver, especially. and we should see a strengthening like just we'll see in gold. So I think it'll be similar in terms of price movement.
Where is silver headed further this year, sir? And what are the risks, upside, downside?
I don't think silver is also range bound between 22 and 25. Okay. If we see weak payroll data and interest rates hardening, it can maybe break the 25 level and go to 26, 27. But otherwise, I think we're range bound between 23 and $25 a troy ounce.
How do you see the Indian precious metals sector going forward, and how has been its experience in the last 8 months? In terms of overall, how the sector has been faring since January till August, and also on the terms of pricing, also the demand
See, in the
part of.
Indian market, coming to the domestic context, see, if you take all the parameters, right, we've seen stock market at an all-time high. We've continued to see good quarterly results from most companies. But when it comes to jewelry, gems and jewelry, what we're seeing is a very volatile market. So we see a couple of weeks strong at retail, then we see a couple of weeks which are not so strong at retail. So it's continued a little, like roller coaster kind of journey, I would say, in the last 2 quarters. Eight large states go into election over the next 12 months, and then we'll have the national election. So we're entering, typically that whole election euphoria across the country. So there will be a lot of spending. Luckily, there are also a lot of weddings coming up in the season between October and March. So at least as industry, we are extremely bullish of a very healthy season ahead. But the last quarter has been quite damp. So April to May, Akshay Tritiya time was good. Then June, July was very slow, and August also has been slow. So once the good days start from Raksha Bandhan. So this week onwards and this weekend, the trade is hopeful that the retail footfall should go up.
Sir, a monsoon has also been a little, up and down. Like August has been one of the most driest we have seen since the last 120 odd years. Now, do you see that impacting gold demand?
Yeah, it will definitely impact, especially in the BC towns. So there will be some kind of impact, but at the same time, we had a record July. So we'll have to see at the end of season, maybe end of September, as to what the actual rain surplus or deficit is state-wise. But what we've historically seen that unless there's famine or drought or something like that, the rain is not affecting the wedding business as such on a large scale. So what impacts us is the number of Murats that we have in a particular season. And this season is normal as far as that is concerned. So we do have a record number of weddings coming up in the next 6 months. The gold price is luckily for the trade. We are not seeing the bull run where the consumer is worried whether there's going to be a correction or a further rise. We are more or less been stable in this $1,900 $2,000 range. So we are expecting season to be stable from the pricing point of view, from the wedding point of view. So if there is no other, I would say, global crisis or event, then this should be a normal growth season.
Sir, your views on the lab-grown diamond. Will free trade agreements help increase its demand? And what are its opportunities and problems?
See, lab grown is an alternate to the natural diamond, and it's definitely here to stay. We are getting a lot of positive support even from the government in the state, in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and even at the center. And with all these policy initiatives, plus I would say it was maybe the Prime Minister gifting Mr. Biden with the lab-grown diamond was the PR movement of the year for the industry. There's obviously a greater acceptance in the West, especially the US. Nearly 30% of the engagement rings which have sold in the last 6 months have been lab-grown diamond rings. So there is a shift happening in the West, and slowly, that should percolate to remaining parts of the world also. So we do see that lab-grown will be a large and promising industry in the next 1 to 3 years.
So thank you very much for your views. It's been really helpful and very insightful.
Thank you so much.